Shelly, this is really kind of like an outlier of a lot of the retail names we've seen. What are they doing so right?
One thing that people don't realize about Home Depot is that 40% of their sales actually come from professional, contractors and building people.
I didn't know that.
And so they're still hugely dependent on the retail customer. You and I going into Home Depot to pick up stuff to upgrade our homes, but they get a whole bunch of sales from these pros. And right now, if you look at the way the housing market is going, that's still a really good business for them.
How much pricing power do they have over their margins?
So that's also a big thing because they don't have too many competitors in this field. I mean, obviously they have Lowe's and they have all the different hardware stores, but that's a lot harder to kind of compare prices going all over to different hardware stores around town.
Are they more protected from Amazon than other retailers?
So you'd think that they would. However, what Home Depot has done right is that they went into online earlier than most. They really, really doubled down. They built new warehouses. They really made it a point to compete online.
I want to ask about TJ Maxx. It's a different story when it comes to that stock. That stock getting hit in pre-market. I mean, earnings didn't seem, terrible. Comp sales were up 1%. The estimates were 1.5%. They lowered their full-year earnings estimate on the high end by like a penny. What's the read on TJX after the earnings?
I'm really looking forward to hearing what the management has to say today, because TJ Maxx quarter after quarter after quarter has just been the star in the retail world, really eating at these department stores' sales. And so for TJ Maxx to come in lower than expected, that to me seems to mean that there must be something bigger out there going on right now.
Do you feel like it's a market share issue, or do you feel like it's the industry woe issue, or do you feel like it's just a TJX issue at this point from just looking at the numbers in the press release?
It could just be a bad quarter. I mean, it could be a bad quarter for TJ Maxx and they'll continue, or TJ Maxx could be, kind of pushing those limits. They've been expanding quite a bit, and you're seeing other big brands like a Ralph Lauren and Coach trying to pull out of TJ Maxx to kind of reestablish their brands. So maybe that could be hitting TJ Maxx, or maybe it's just this general retail malaise. People don't want to go out and buy clothes.
When you talk about malaise, who's doing well besides home improvement? Who's doing well in this space at all?
Well, that's the big question about TJ Maxx, because if you had asked me yesterday, I would have said TJ Maxx. And don't get me wrong, Alex, as you pointed out, they're still growing sales, unlike other folks, other department stores. So I'm curious to kind of see what the read is on TJ Maxx. But obviously, Amazon is always the catch-all, doing well retailer.
And speaking of retail, does go to D.C. We're going to have Secretary Mnuchin, right, meeting with some retail CEOs today. What do we know about this meeting? It feels very cloak and dagger kind of.
Yeah, I mean, for most people, you might be wondering why, if the border adjustment tax is supposedly dead in the water, are these retail CEOs finding it so important to go to D.C. to argue against it? Because you got to know that that's the one thing that they're going to be talking about today. There's still a lot of proponents out there, maybe industrial companies and exporters, who are still trying to keep this thing going, and the retailers want to really make sure that it's not going to happen.